So welcome back. I'm IBK with TCLN. And as you know, I love to educate to elevate, as I told you earlier. So let's jump right into this and see if we can go from situations to solutions right here in America. Now let's start with number one. What has China been doing, honey? So even though everybody is fighting over tariffs and what's going on about tariffs, and people are talking from the US all the way to China, and everybody have their opinions, and not just China, but the other places also, countries, borders, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, there has been found a report. And this report, of course, came from a young lady. She's, of course, Chinese, and she reported this report. So, first off, it was hidden DNA. Now it's a fungus that can destroy the food supply. And the FBI said it isn't just science, that it could be agro-terrorism or agro-terrorism. So I guess they call it agricultural terrorism. In other words, they were smuggling things in that are designed to destroy our food supply, that will get inside of our blood and cells, because that's where your food's supposed to go to, in your blood and cells in your body, and therefore destroy the body. So I'm gonna read this to you so you guys can have the facts, right? A dangerous agricultural fungus, Fusarium graminearum, has become the center of the FBI investigation after two Chinese researchers were charged with smuggling it into the United States. Experts warn that the fungus can devastate the U.S. grain crops and poison livestock and humans through toxic contamination. As part of a broader pattern involving Chinese nationals smuggling biological materials, federal authorities say that this case raises urgent concerns about food security, bioterrorism, and CCP affiliated academic infiltration into sensitive American systems. Now, I know that there are some of you that would argue, they say, oh, IBK, you know, these folks, they always saying that it's all about race. They trying to keep everybody down. Well, actually, there was a young Chinese woman who made the report. And so if you want to check it out, it is on Epic, what they call Epic, EPOCK, Epic News. And that is a great independent news channel, but it is a professional news channel. And so you can get some of the sources and resources from there, just in case you want to see, you know, where this story came from. So again, there was another one, a smiling PhD student from Wuhan, armed with a visa and a story, lands in Michigan. Now, with this genetically altered material hidden in books, she calls them surprises. Now, this is another story. The FBI called it smuggling, and the DOJ says it's part of a pattern. So I don't know if you guys have been hearing about that, but there have been people smuggling in something. I don't know if you heard about the story kind of like a while back when people were in college and there was a black young lady who was targeted. And again, this is not about race, because you know all races do this. They've had friends poison each other. You remember the case in the what they call the Cabano Six. Remember the people who beat the girl up? She took them out. The young lady was so don't make it about race is what I'm saying. I'm just saying these are all kind of events that are happening. So, and I'm talking about the food right now. So you guys, we need to be heads up. We need to have this awareness. But so I point out different aspects so you will understand that this is not about race. This is about just a war on humanity in general from other humans at that. And so that's why I point out different aspects. This young lady, of course, she had became successful, internet, all of that. And she took these people to Cabano on her little trip, and they ended up killing her, breaking her spine. You guys know about that. And they were her race. So this is not a race thing. We need to look at things outside of race and stop race baiting. And we really need to look at the facts of who's doing what and hold people accountable. So I wanted you to know a little bit about that. The FBI found petri dishes and plasmids, and her notes were disguised as friendly puzzles, part of the disturbing tactic to move biomaterials without a permit. So you guys be aware, there are a lot of things happening. If I would look at it, I wouldn't look at it in terms of race. I would look at it in terms of war on Americans. because of course it's coming to America. It would be the same thing if Americans are taking things here and taking it to another country and destroying people. So it's no different, guys. So let's not get into the race thing. Let's really look at what's going on, because any of us can be affected, whether it's COVID, whether it's people smuggling stuff in, they're trying to destroy us or destroy the food supply. When I look at the food supply, I don't look at it as just them smuggling things in and doing stuff. Our food supply has been messed up a long time. That's why RFK is in there talking about, hey, we need to make sure our production is done right, that we have the seed right, and that things are put back together the way they're supposed to be put. We're not supposed to be eating food without seed. I mean, you don't have organic if you don't have seed and have naturally grown. You can call it organic, but if you're taking all the seed out of it, it's not organic. And I know they define organic by how they define it, but I'm just giving my commentary, sweetheart. Everybody got it. Make your comments, leave them below. Let's move on to the next story. Okay. Now, China and Trump with the tariffs, a trade deal has been made. Let me give you the facts, right? So, China and Trump, or people say, oh, we Americans, we ain't going through that. That's Trump now. Well, we're still Americans, and no matter what, it affects us all. And just like that, all the people in China are not doing it, but at the end of the day, it affects the China people in China too. So let's look at the facts. China will remain 10% tariffs on U.S. ports. The U.S. will keep 55% tariffs on Chinese goods. China has agreed to resume supplying rare earth materials critical to U.S. industries. And in return, the U.S. will allow Chinese students to access American colleges and universities under specific conditions. Now, it's ironic, and the reason why I put these two stories back to back, because you got the students who are sneaking in, smuggling stuff, and then you got them saying we making a deal for them to come. And that means that we need to crack down on some stuff. So they shouldn't just be able to come, and not them. It could be anybody coming into America, and you don't know what their intentions are. You think their intentions is to study, but people are doing other things that they have no business doing. So again, I'm not for sure. We just go by the stories that we're getting from mainstream, at least I do. And these are supposed to be the facts, right? Because these are professional organizations and they are held accountable. They can't just be out there saying any and everything. They can get sued for libel or anything else, right? At least that's the way it's supposed to be. Or any type of speech misimpairment of doing those things toward other people. Now, remind you that report that was made earlier, it was made from a young lady in China. So again, it had nothing to do with, oh, Americans reporting. Americans didn't report it. It was originally reported from a young lady there. Okay. Now, so that you guys have an understanding, Trump believes that this will be a celebrated deal, a win for both countries. China has not yet confirmed the terms, and a final approval from both presidents is still required. The agreement builds on a prior temporary truce reached out in Geneva in May, which paused tariff hikes until July 9th. Now, if a new framework is not formalized by then, the record level tariffs could return. So just so you will know the facts and what's going on, they trying to work out this deal. They say it's solidified, but still ain't nobody came together to do it yet. So it's up to them to get it done. And just as long as you guys have the information, right? Now I want to move on to Operation Soteria Shield. I don't know if you guys heard about this. And this is going to, like I said, be for you guys who really have a heart and a disposition for children in certain areas. I know a lot of people act like they do, but we got so many children suffering in our countries, from child protective services to no families to everything that is going on. And it's unfortunate that nobody gets out there and ride for them like that. I know we have our own busy lives, so I'm not judging people. And a lot of us are going through the things that we're going through, and we can barely hold up sometimes ourselves. But we still have to understand that these things are happening, and to stay aware in the communities and stay aware of the people that you're around. Okay. In one of the largest crackdowns online, child predators to date, the FBI just arrested again 244 suspects and rescued 109 children. This operation is called Soteria Shield. or Soteria, I'm sorry, Soteria shield. And what you are about to hear, it may move you a little bit, but sometimes we so desensitized in this culture that we be like, oh, okay, you know. And then if the camera is on, everybody be like, oh my God, we can't believe that's happening, you know. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, you know how I rock. We have been so desensitized. There would have been a time we heard that, man, we would have been on the phone. We would have been checking the children. We would have been doing everything. But because we've been so infiltrated just by a lot of dark stuff, from entertainment to all kind of stuff to just cursing and reveling and lasciviousness, it desensitizes people. And people don't look at things the same anymore. It's not that they may don't care deeply underneath, but it's, you know what I'm talking about. It's just the way it is, right? But you always have that pack of people that they the ride and dies. It's their cause of life, you know. And so just as long as you know that, okay. This happened in Dallas. It's been a month-long investigation that has spanned the state of Texas, involved over 70 agencies. So 70 agencies got involved, and they had been doing this a while because they've been trying to crack down on these people. And the FBI called the arrest and rescues part of a national mission to protect the most vulnerable from online exploitation. Okay. Now, the Justice Department under President Trump has made such high profile arrests. Operation Restore Justice came first, and now Operation Soteria Shield. This isn't just enforcement. They are making sure that this is a clear message. They're going to be doing a lot of crackdown on the people who decide to do this on the internet. And guys, I want to stop and say, be careful what's on your screens. Don't even look at it. Sometimes stuff will be popping up on your stuff, like butt naked people, stuff you ain't even click on. Don't even click. You be like, no, you get out of here. You know, don't entertain it. Don't do none of that, because all of that stuff can be used against you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there, it's true. Like, you know how y'all be going, you be searching or something, and stuff will just pop up. You be like, what the heck is that? Don't entertain it. Click that mess off. Click it off, you guys. Click it off. You don't know what traps and snares and tears that may be setting up for people along the way. Click it off. Somebody can accuse you of something down the road, and they be like, yeah, they were up there watching this and watching that. No, no, no. Don't entertain that stuff. Click it off. Your heart wasn't looking for that. You doing research. You out there doing all kind of stuff. And then something pop up in your feed on Instagram, TikTok, all this. All of a sudden, somebody up in there with their legs spread, cocked all open. You be like, no, cut it off. Cut it off. Don't entertain that mess. Cut it off. Because believe it or not, people can tell how many seconds you don't watch something and how many minutes. They can scroll it all back. This internet ain't no joke, y'all. It's called the World Wide Web for a reason. They call it the internet today. When I was growing up, it was called the World Wide Web. That's where www come from. So don't entertain that stuff, guys. Some pop up like that, click that mess off. You don't know who watching, who doing what, and you don't know why they doing those things. Click it off. Okay, so because again, they're not playing. They cracking down. And you don't want to be entertaining crazy stuff. I don't care if it's grown people or what. Click that mess off. Click it off. You know, remember, everything is snares, tears, and traps. And in this lifetime, it's like walking through a landmine. And even though you're supposed to live in joy and peace and happiness, which is good, you have that and you have those moments, you also have to be aware that you got all kind of things out there in that field that'll try to snare you up, to steal all that from you. So guys, make sure you be aware, okay? Now, investigators recovered terabytes of illicit digital data. Some suspects are still being identified. The trauma, the crimes causing is far-fetching, and the law enforcement officials made it clear this was about rescuing, restoring, and healing. Because again, if you've ever been molested and if you've ever been raped as a child, then you know the damage that does. You know the energy that comes with that. You know the deals that you struggle with when you have to like fight through all that mentally and emotionally. you know, the guilt that's put up on you as if you did something wrong. It's a lot that a child goes through when those things happen. Okay. So again, let me recap: 244 suspects arrested, 109 children rescued, and terabytes of illegal data evidence collected. So, guys, you can stay updated on that if you want to. That happened out of Dallas. Police Chief Comex, Comeaux, is the head team on this, and he's guiding this also with Wiley Police Chief Henderson and Plano Police Chief Drain and Garland Police Chief Brian. So you guys, if you want to stay updated on that, you guys, you can be blessed, because these, it's sad that, you got some really good children out there, and some of these children just get lost in the cause. And some of it is intentional and some of it is unintentional. The unintentional is just the world just is desensitized. Everybody got their own stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much things people going on mentally, emotionally, physically. And then some of it is just intentional. It's intentional to destroy, you know. So again, thank you to all you guys who took this on to do this. We appreciate you, and continue the good work, because even though there's bad law enforcement who do evil things to people, there are some people who try to do the right thing. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Hi, I'm Abike. I hope that you are enjoying today's broadcast, but I wanted to stop and say something to you. Many of you are small business owners or nonprofit owners, and you have such a great message. The problem is that you have a hard time articulating. You have a hard time understanding what you are really trying to say, why you are really trying to say it, and how to get that out to your customers and to your clients, to the people that you serve. Well, guess what? I love to brand. I love to take the ideas, those wonderful, beautiful things that are inside your mind, and I love to craft and put it all together in script so that you can really understand who you are. But I don't just script it for you. I sit down with you and really get in tune with who you are, what you do, why you do it. But most of all, even all those fanciful things that you think that no one cares about, that's really, really special. It's like putting that icing on the cake, and it helps you stand out amongst all the other cakes on the market. I love doing that. Branding is not just about colors and design and this and this and that. Branding is about the core of who you are and what you are really, really trying to communicate, not just to your customers, your clients, but just to the world. It's your imprint upon the world. It's who you are. So if you're ready to go beyond Chat GPT, known as AI, and you're really ready to get the core message of who you are out into the world, let's get that done. Now, let's get to Snap. Now, I've been on Snap. So I know about the snappity program. Now, let's get to it. Should sugary drinks be banned from food stamps? I'm saying it clear, because that's what SNAP is. Food stamps. The U.S. Health Secretary RFK Jr. thinks so, and he's calling all 50 states to act now. And let's break down what that really means, okay? And what he's really saying with your tax dollars and public health. Now, on June 10th, RFK Jr. made some waves, and he was urging governors across the country to ban sugary drinks, right? We need to ban this all the way from Arkansas, Idaho, Utah, to cut sodas and candy. Now, how many people know that all this diabetic stuff they talk about, that the majority of people, I wouldn't say all, because I don't have the statistics before me, so I'm not going to quote nothing wrong, but we grew up seeing it. Big mamas, all kinds of people, they will be suffering in the bodies, right? Because of a lot of sugar, a lot of things that and we grow up as kids with it. Cotton candy, ice cream trucks, all that stuff. All you had to do was take the cash to the ice cream trucks. Some of the ice cream trucks would accept food stamps back then. I don't know if they supposed to be in, but undercover they would, you know, in exchange for a little something, something. But let's talk about why this is important. Um, Arkansas so far has banned soda and low juice fruit drinks, diet sodas, and candy. Idaho removes soda and candy. Utah said goodbye to soft drinks entirely. And they're not alone. Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska are on board also in discussions with this work. Now, this is for the SNAP program. So for sure somebody come around and say, now you got us messed up. We still drink our Coca-Cola. Well, we're talking about the SNAP program. Now, why does this matter? Why is this important? According to RFK, taxpayer dollars should never bankroll products that fuel chronic disease epidemic. He praised the governors for stepping up and putting health first. Now, is it all about health? I don't know, because I feel like this. They got to crack down on a lot of other stuff, not just sugary sodas, not just candy. They also need to crack down on the food supply in general and all of the poisons and all of the junk that's being put in that food supply. But is this a good start? It's an excellent start. Now, should you see me eating a little piece of candy, don't get mad at me, because I struggle with it like everybody else, and I'm honest with you. But is it a start? It's a very good start, because that's going to start adjusting some things. You know what I'm saying? The parents won't be able to go and buy big cases of sodas, and keep feeding the kids with this. And then the kids continually getting sick and getting ill. They're going to have to buy juices that are predominantly juice more than it is the sugar. You understand what I'm saying? The non-juices with the sugar. So it's a start, guys. It's a start. It may not be the be all and the end all, but it's a start and it's an adjustment and it's a wake up call in America. And I wouldn't just say it's for the SNAP program. It should just be for your income in general. And for everybody who always hollering, we pay taxes on. We tired of paying these taxes for welfare, folks. They be tripping me out when they say that, y'all. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Okay. But anyway, it is helpful to taxpayers though, if everybody start taking care of their health better. We all struggle. Some people are addicted to Coke. Some people are, and when I say Coke, I mean Coca-Cola. Some people are addicted to cigarettes. Some people struggling with chocolate. Some people love chips. We all got something we struggling with when it comes to a food. You understand what I'm saying? It's one of those pieces of food that we tend to overload on. You know how it go. Some people love chicken. Like they can't put chicken down. They eat chicken every day of the week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So everybody has that spiritual struggle that they're dealing with. But when the government steps in and say, hey, we're going to handle it this way, please do not look at it as a negative. Sometimes look at things as a positive. You may not think it's helpful, but in the long run, it could be helpful. If you say, hey, if you look at it and stop and say, hey, this is a positive. This is an opportunity to adjust what we're feeding the kids, what we're feeding the families. And also don't just look at it from sugary drinks and all of that. Look at the food supply in the whole, which is what they're trying to do. And whether you want to say, let's make America great again, or you want the tagline, trust that we can believe in, or hope that we can believe in. Both of them are beautiful taglines, but they're both beautiful when we're taking beautiful action, right? So again, if I were you guys, don't look at it as a negative. Look at it as a positive. You still may struggle with some stuff. We've been doing it for so many years. So it ain't like you break things overnight, right? You only break things overnight like when you get tired, like when you tired, or you be done fell out because you don't went to the doctor and it scared you. You be like, nah, I ain't doing that no more. I threw all my sodas out, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but for the most people, they struggle, and it takes time to wean from those types of things, to wean your body, wean your mind, especially when you've been doing something for so many years. I mean, just so many years, guys. So take that into consideration, but also look at it as a positive. Again, RFK, I'm going to wrap it up with the facts. RFK calls for the nationwide reform. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. urges the U.S. governors to ban sugary drinks from SNAP benefits. June 10th, USDA statement. His remarks came from a USDA event where the Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, signed the new SNAP waivers. Now, do everybody necessarily agree with this? There's opposition. There's some opposition. The American Beverage Association, those who be making the monies, ABA, condemned the bans and accusing Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Secretary Rollins of playing food police. Girl, they need to quit. But anyway, I'm going to leave y'all on there. Y'all got y'all opinions. Y'all got y'all commentary too. Leave it in the comments below. Have fun, guys. Be respectful, but have fun. You are entitled to your opinion. TCLN is not here to teach you what to think. I'm going to give you what I think. But at the end of the day, you are entitled to you and what's yours. You understand that? I'm not here to say, oh, you so wrong, you know. That's not my job, baby. My job is to give you the facts and the commentary. Okay? Now, Clara Adams disqualifications. Y'all heard about that? Have y'all heard about that in the media? The young lady who won the gold award? And what ended up happening, this 16-year-old track star, let me read this to you. She celebrated a victory, right? And it ignited controversy because she got disqualified and stripped of her gold medal. Now, she won this medal fair. You know, it wasn't like, oh, she's fighting against another Olympian or something over a point or something. She won it fair. But she celebrated it by paying homage to a person who's been in the Olympics for years. And they said the way that she done it, it was disrespectful to the rules of the thing. And all she did was, like, I think she spray painted her shoes or something like that with the Olympian and gave homage. And then I'm gonna read this part to you so you guys can understand. So after winning the 400-meter state final, not for cheating or a false start, but for her celebration, Clara celebrated her win by spraying her feet with a fire extinguisher, paying homage to Olympic sprint legend Maurice Green. But California Interscholarship or Interscholastic Federation, or what you call the CIF, said that her actions was unsportsmanlike, and they disqualified her. Now, them her feet. It would have been a different if she took the fire extinguisher and sprayed somebody else's feet. They're her feet. But of course, I'm going to leave you with the facts, and I'm going to leave you a little bit with my commentary on that, and then I'm going to close out this session, right? So the facts goes as this. Clara Adams is 16 years old. She's a sophomore at North Salinas High School. She won the 400-meter race in the California State Final. After winning, she sprayed her feet with a fire extinguisher, and as a tribute to Olympic sprinter Maurice Green. California, the CFI, disqualified her and for unsportsmanlike conduct. The disqualification stripped her of her gold medal and barred her from standing on the podium or competing in the final race. Now, that's crazy, y'all. Clara and her family are threatening legal action against CIF. CIF representatives have not responded to a request for the comments as of now. Now, let me give my commentary on that. And I'm going to say it from a place where I try to be balanced with it, but from a place of truth. When you win something that other people really want to win, people will find a hole to poke in and use it against you. Sometimes there's jealousy involved. Sometimes there's envy involved. Sometimes there are political things. It may not even be jealousy. It may be more of a political issue. You don't know who's doing what on the back end for what. There's all kind of things that are involved that we, the public, may not know of. But we all can attest to, you're going to strip a young lady of what she worked so hard for, her gold medal. She didn't hurt no one. She didn't harm nobody. She wasn't bagging and boasting. Like, you know how some of the sports people be like, you like me now, like she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't. She just simply won a game, and she wanted to pay homage to Maurice Green, because obviously that's who inspired her. Probably looking at his videos. We all have people who inspire us. We look at them and they be like, oh, they do it like this. Oh, they good. Oh, we love them. They inspire us. There are sports that I will never ever play. Honey, you ain't gonna see this body out there doing none of that. Boo boo kitty. I just don't have agility like that. But some of them sports people on a mental level, I can take what they do in sports and I can just apply it on a mental level. They are so inspiring. And you're going to take something that a young lady worked so hard for, and instead of maybe giving her a warning or something like that, you just strip her. You just strip her. Nobody gave her a rule that she wasn't supposed to do that. But she didn't even do nothing wrong, though, guys. I can understand if she took it at an opponent or something and sprayed it in their face or something. I can understand if she just did something so horrible. She just sprayed her feet. And maybe the firemen will come out and tell her, don't be playing with no fire extinguishers. What's wrong with you? But other than that, like, you didn't like just give her a little light warning and say, hey, baby girl, you can't do that. You just totally stripped the young girl and embarrass her and harm her for what she worked so hard for. So to me, that has something to do with something else at play than it would have to do with some rules. Let's look at Sha'Carri Richardson. All of the sports people know about the rules that you can't do drugs. You can't do narcotics. That's just the way it is. No narcotics, no substances, no none of that. So all the sports people know that across the board. All of them. So when they came to Chicago, they was lenient with Sha'Carri Richardson too, because they let her back in. They knew she was a winner. They knew baby girl was a winner, and she came back winning too. you know. Um, so, but to take this young lady who works so hard, she's not out there doing drugs, she's not out there living her life bad, she's not out there being, hopefully she's not out there, because we don't know what people do behind closed doors, but hopefully she's not out there, that she's trying to make something of her life and to do these things to her like that. You would have to admit that's something else going on, right? So I would just say, hey, America, um, nobody, came to her and told her, you couldn't do something like that. And she wouldn't have known not to do nothing like that. So to me, that would have been a warning. And then that would have been a warning to all other sports people who they would have said, no, you can't be spraying your feet. You can't be praying homage in this way. You can't be doing all these things, right? And then maybe then you can get on to people. But to strip that young lady like that, guys, that's wrong. I'm gonna tell you on that end, like Les Brown say, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. That's my commentary for all these stories of today, and I'm sticking to them. I hope you've had a wonderful time here at TCLN. I hope any of these stories has enlightened you, informed you, maybe even inspired you, maybe even made you laugh a little. I don't know. But whatever you took out of it, most of all, I hope you take the information that you need so that you can understand a little bit about your world and what is going on. We have plenty of reporters out there, plenty of people who do great jobs out there. There's no competition, honey. We all deliver what we deliver in a different way. Some people are straight up reporters. They bring you the news first. People like us, we are commentaries. We give you our, comments on the things. You have all kind of people that do all kinds of things. So no competition. You guys be blessed and enjoy your weekend. And stay safe, guys. Stay safe. And I want to remind you, if you're one of those people that you are building something in life, remember how easy it is to get caught up in snares and tears. So don't be out there drinking a whole lot and acting a fool a whole lot. And just, you got to stay conscious. We're dealing with a lot of energy in this world. You got to stay conscious. It's easy to flip you up. It's easy to get you all drunk and catch you off guard and get you all high. So, guys, stay aware and be blessed, okay? You made it to the end. Blessings, blessings, blessings. I am so glad that you stayed to the end. Also, I hope with all of my heart that you were able to be inspired and you were informed, that you found something out of today's broadcast that resonated with you and that you can take within your life and within your journey. With that being said, do not forget to support at my GoFundMe. Also, check out my bookstore at Preeminent Good Books Publishing. In-demand leadership is a concept that I came up with because, after all, I don't care where you are in this world, what you do. The aim is to make sure we're getting better, brighter, and bolder. We do that through lifting one another out of systemic, social, and spiritual issues that affect us daily. Thank you so much. And as my favorite childhood reporter would say, courage, my friends, courage. Until next time, bye, you guys.